Welcome to the Ranking Every Commander series, baby.
We're in the top 100 commanders, and we're doing number 80 to number 71 right now.
Or now.
Now.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. And before we get into this particular video, you should go and subscribe to this channel for great content all around.
You sound like William Shatner. You're like, and I need you to do this.
I think that was like William Shatner plus Morty. It's like the two of them. But you should subscribe.
And besides, you want to be a subscriber to this channel because our subscribers are 10% less likely to go bald.
Disclaimer guy here, just here to say, going bald is a natural part of life. And if you don't like it, get a toupee or something.
I don't think we got to mince words. I think we can just jump right in to number 80.
I wanted to mince words.
Nope. Words will not be minced. They're going to be all together in normal sentences. Kumena, Tyrant of Araska, number 80. 1 green blue for a 2/4. Tap another untapped merfolk you control. Kumena can't be blocked this turn. Tap 3 untapped merfolk you control. Draw a card. Tap 5 untapped merfolk you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on each merfolk you control. Merfolk, 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 merfolk. This deck is so one-dimensional, but I think it's actually a pretty good deck.
Okay, so we go to 5. Talk about power here. This card's power is
Middle.
yeah. That's a great word for it. Oomph.
I've described 800 commanders so far, so I'm going to use all of that knowledge to go.
Yeah, I mean, drawing cards is strong. It can't be blocked. That's really nothing.
He's a 2/4.
He can also lord your team a lot of times.
I think he really only has the draw card ability.
The draw card
Put a bunch of merfolk into play, and the next best thing about him is that he's blue-green. If he was mono-blue, I would be so like snoozed out by this, but the green gives you actual ramp and actual other big spells to use.
A 10 for fun because we gave the credit that fish, merfolk, one of the most popular and well-loved tribes.
Lord of Atlantis, it's the oldest lord. People have been playing merfolk since the beginning. They've loved it, and this guy I think is your best shot at a viable, highly tuned merfolk deck.
It's been around in Modern. It's been around in Legacy. It's been around forever.
But it's definitely viable, always in Commander.
Yes. I mean, especially with this commander who's extremely strong for merfolk. I mean, 5 for a merfolk commander is why it's good. I mean,
5 power?
Yeah, it's like what other merfolk commander are you getting? Unless you want to play weirdly Morphon, but you're not playing Morphon.
Yeah, I like, well, you could. There's white merfolk, but I don't, there's a couple black, but he has an 8 for artwork. I really like how the Ixalan merfolk look. I love the feathery, colorful design.
This art is specifically good out of the Ixalan, because a lot of this Ixalan, a lot of these merfolks are just like colorful rainbow, computer did it, design way too much. This does it well.
Yeah, some of them are, this looks realistic because it's not bright pink, it's blue into like a darker, I guess magenta purpley. It looks like this could exist. And the waterfall is like awesome. He's just standing on like a waterfall.
I think the contrast against the background is what really does it, because it's not just everything's colorful, like something like World Shaper where it's like green, green, bright green, yellow, everywhere.
The only thing that's not colorful is the card.
Yeah.
The card frame.
Yeah, I know. It's like colors everywhere. It's an explosion, but this one's a waterfall. Water's not that bright. Yeah, exactly. It's very muting, and it makes the card look so much better.
Oh yeah, but for coolness, okay, he's a bad guy who's a merfolk, but he doesn't get full points for coolness. Even though he looks and seems amazing, his story is like butt. He is the first one to reach Araska, the Golden City. If you follow the Ixalan lore, nobody did. Awakens the city, awakens all the creatures in it, and then he gets thrown out a window and forgotten.
He gets thrown out a window by who?
Literally gets thrown out a window by Vona and maybe, let's just say Huatli. Whoever else is vying for the sun.
They do it together. They grab, like, one grabs, they take shoulder pants, and the other one grabs shoulder pants, and they chuck them out a window.
I don't really know, but Merfolk Bad Guy's cool. It's pretty unique. Merfolk don't get a lot of love, especially in green. So I think we can just put a nice little pin in this. Hashtag better than Urza.
I think one of the uniqueness things here that keeps it up high is it has 3 different activated abilities. They all involve tapping merfolks, and it is around the tribe.
All of which I haven't really seen before, though. Like tap an untapped tribesman. He can be a blockable. I don't really see that, but you get it. You get the idea. Unique abilities makes for super high creature. Shu Yun, the Silent Tempest, is up next. He's 79. 2 and a blue for a 3/2 with prowess. He's a human monk. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay Boros Hybrid, Boros Hybrid. If you do, target creature gains double strike until end of turn.
So he's going to be gaining double strike a lot because he gives himself double strike. You can play a tempo deck. You can play an aggro deck. You can play a Voltron deck. He doesn't really force you into a specific type. His trouble is you're in Jeskai Spell Slingers, which is where Jeskai usually wants to be, and then you have to play these other decks. So
What do you mean other decks?
So no, you want to be Jeskai Spell Slinger because you're in Jeskai, because that's like the Jeskai archetype, and then you have to play like an aggro deck. It's like this weird thing you have to kind of build on. I think it's cool and I think it's awesome, but
here's what's weird and why I think he has a lot of power and a lot of fun. This is so low effort. This guy is so low maintenance. If you give him +2/+0, I don't know how, incidentally, with a spell, triggers prowess, he becomes 6, and then you pay 2 mana, and he gets double strike. That's 12 damage, and he barely did anything.
Why not just cast 3 spells? Like something like a Gift Probe, some.
That's what I'm saying. Cast a cantrip, and then give this guy +3/+0, and it's almost lethal.
Yeah.
This card is super strong. You could just play a mid-range deck and just have this as an incidental, okay, all my creatures say when they deal combat damage to you, get something, and he just gives them all double strike.
It actually is the same power as Kumena. They both have the exact same power, both 5s.
I think that's about right. But this one,
that sounds
more
so
fun,
right.
although the art, it's a step down. Not because he's bald, just because he's kind of a normal dude.
What a weird spot. You looked at me, not because he's bald, right, Joe?
I don't know, your brother's bald. Do you have experience in the field?
What are we talking about? The art?
Yeah, the art.
Okay.
Said he was bald.
That could be the lore.
Perfect setup.
That's the perfect setup.
That's also the lore.
He also, the Jeskai love showing off their nipples. So we got one nice nipple showing here, obviously.
He humble defected a little too many times. He has no hair left. Okay, the art's fine. I mean, we're not art aficionados. We just spent 10 minutes talking about Kumena's art. His flavor, his lore, if you will. He called a meeting between the Khans to try to preserve his clan and save everybody. He's like, okay, we gotta fight the dragons, and this is in the Fate Reforged timeline. We gotta fight these dragons, we gotta all come together, and everybody comes together, and then they all get completely destroyed. But he sacrifices himself to save his clansmen, the Jeskai, and then he gets frozen to death.
Doesn't he say like, no, it was my fault, don't blame them, and then he's like, raise your ass.
Ojitai was not happy.
Yeah, I mean, would you be if you were a ninja dragon that was trying to be usurped? Come on.
I don't know, I feel like I'd be pretty content as a ninja dragon.
Yeah, but then...
I would freeze people with my ice breath for fun, though.
Especially if they were trying to usurp you.
Right, it's a perfect reason. It's a perfect thing.
Oh, wow, this is part of the lore? Bald guy, I told you it's part of the lore.
10 for uniqueness, you have infinite choices, you can pump him, you can give him double strike, you can give other creatures double strike, you can go spell slinger, you can go hard in on the Boros part of it and just attack and get people.
Yeah, you need to have some attackers at least, because you want to give, sometimes you're going to give other stuff double strike. Also, this ability can have haste if you have another creature out to just like play him, cast Gift Probe, so that costs no mana, then pay the 2 red, that's 5 mana to give something else double strike that's already out.
We're like really movie. We're like using Jeskai Kung Fu right now. We gotta move on. Roshin Meanderer, 78. 3 and a Gruul hybrid for a 4/4, which taps for 4 colorless mana. Hold up. Only on X spells.
It's weird to me that this is a Gruul hybrid.
Shadowmoor, man. Everything was weird.
Yeah, but it's like only one. Like a lot of those cards like had like 3 of the hybrids. It's like, okay, I get that.
Yeah, you gotta pick one. You gotta be in mono green, or you gotta have a splash for red and be mono green. This one's just like, play whatever.
It's just like, it's 3 and 1, only 1 hybrid. So this is only a 2 for power. This is the X spell deck. It's cool. You're gonna be ramping a lot to like cast your big giant hydras and stuff, and it's probably one of the best Hydra commanders.
It's cute. It's fun. But that does not mean it's strong. We're going to give it, almost full marks for how cute and fun it is. You have to untap with your 4-drop, and then all it even does is power up like another spell. And I think I'd have to use this twice before I feel like I really got a card out of it.
I mean, it just depends on which way you're casting. I mean, I feel like you got your card out of it if you cast something like Genesis Wave right away. You get Death 4 is real worth it.
But not right away, because you have to give this haste.
That's all I'm saying is like 1 activation on something like a Genesis Wave.
Okay, yeah, something that gives you tangible cards.
Yeah, like that. There's some other spells that are really good, but I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know the X spell deck.
This is top 100 commanders, all right? Well, this isn't ranking every X spell. Not yet. We got to get pretty big before we bother to do that.
Ranking every X spell? That's real boring.
There'd be so many that are just bad.
Yeah.
And this one is tap X creatures. And this one is tap X creatures. And this one is tap X creatures.
Oh my
8
god.
for artwork. She's sitting. I like that she's a crazy giant prophet lady that ties into the lore.
Yeah. Also, this is the brother of.
Brian Stoutarm is her brother.
Oh, Brian Stoutarm is her brother. Yeah. Also, she's not affected by the Great Aurora.
There's like almost nobody is.
Almost everybody.
Almost nobody isn't.
Yeah. There's like one tribe, right, that isn't affected.
Fairies.
The fairies aren't affected by it, and then her, and that's about it.
Yeah. Una caused it, so the fairies are immune, and then just also Roshin. It just makes her really cool. That just gives her so many cool points because she's gonna live for a super long time, and always remember. Never forget.
It'd be so weird to be like the only person besides a certain tribe to remember something happening because nobody knows about that.
You'd be so alone.
Oh, it's sad. Like nobody on the whole plane remembers or knows about the Great Aurora.
It's worse than that because their personalities get reversed and flip-flopped. So all the elves they go from being racist like jerks to being like proud and noble and kind to everyone, and then they're the good guys. And all the goblins and the peaceful little people, they're all just nasty, gross, grubby scavengers. Ugh.
They're nasty little people.
That'd be scary. That'd be super scary.
And a 9 for uniqueness because there is really not many other axe spells matter. I can't think of one other like commander you want to build like this.
I can think of Gargos. Makes your Hydras cheaper, but that's not X spells.
That's very specifically Hydras, and Hydras happen to be X spells, so there is overlap there.
It's close. I'm just saying that's the closest thing I can think of.
I was agreeing with you. I'm sorry for half agreeing with you, but also half not agreeing with you.
I wasn't even offended.
You looked offended.
You know what's close though to 78 is 77.
Razaketh, the Foul Blood, 5, black, legendary creature, demon. He is an 8/8. Flying Trample, pay 2 life, sacrifice another creature, search your library for a card, and put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. This card's extremely powerful when it's out. It costs 8 mana, so that's where it loses the points. But when it's out, God, this card is hard to beat. I just played against it like 2 days ago.
Yeah, your opponent wasn't even playing optimally, and he still beat you.
Oh, and like it just didn't matter because
once it's out, he gets all the value right away, so there's almost no point in killing him. It's one of those weird creatures. It's like, man, I really should have policed his creatures and let him not cast Razaketh. Now that he did, and it resolved, it's just way too late. You're going to tutor everything you need, sacrifice your whole board if they try to board wipe, get Cabal Coffers if you don't have it, blah, 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 all the black stuff, get Exsanguinate, get Grey Merchant, however you're going to win.
Yeah, I don't like this commander personally. Ugh.
It puts a huge target on your head.
It's a huge target.
I'm killing that guy.
You also can't let him untap with 8 mana, because if you do, they're just going to go crazy.
I'd love it if they didn't. I'd have to board wipe or police swords their creatures for sure.
Ugh.
He's got great art. It's right up there with the other great demons.
Oh, he
just looks like a nefarious dude.
I love the word nefarious. He does look very nefarious. That's a great word, BZ. Great choice of words. A++.
Word of the day, nefarious. His funness definitely loses from your opponent's side. Max fun for you, and your opponent, there's a little bit of, what's he gonna get? What's going on? But you usually just die.
If you're playing casual meta, this card is stupid. In a meta where things are a little bit more competitive, it's like this card. It's good, but it's going to be fair in that kind of meta. As soon as if you're playing lower power level, it's like the 8 mana thing just comes out and it's like, well, you just win because it's so insane.
Yeah, in a where board wipes are king type meta, this guy's it's over. You just get you're gonna win in 2 turns or 3 turns. In a more competitive, you have to tap out for it, so you're done in terms of stopping other people's combos. You could get Tormod's Crypt, I guess, if you're trying to stop combos with it. You go play Razaketh, sack my board. One of the cards I get is Tormod's Crypt.
Why? Wait, what?
I'm saying in a more combo heavy meta, you have to tap out for Razaketh. If you want to play him at a reasonable time.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna. So
it's like, what are you doing? Are you wasting your tutors on weird combo stoppers? Then it's like you never even went off.
Yeah, that is strange. I agree with that.
Skip to his lore.
Skip to the lore. You read the lore. You know more about it than me.
Yeah. So he was probably posed less of a threat than Kumena on Ixalan. He's working for Bolas. He's on the Luxa, aka the Nile River. He turns up red with blood, which is super cool. I think he's on the art for. What art is he on?
I don't know.
One of the Invocation awesome arts. I don't really know. It might be Damnation or something. Poses a threat for about 7 seconds when he controls Liliana, and then she breaks out of it because Gideon, I don't know, he's taking his shirt off. He's distracted him. Look at this over here.
He is a demon, and if I know anything, all demons are bisexual.
They have to be. They just have to be. But you're missing out if you're not.
That is the lore.
And this dude gets ripped apart and eaten the remains get eaten by zombies. Poor guy. He just wanted to control Liliana.
I don't feel bad for him at all. He's like a super evil dude. Yeah, like, do you feel bad for him?
No.
Okay.
But I do think demonic tutor on a stick is very unique.
It's relatively unique.
It's not even one demonic tutor on a stick. It's just demonic tutor.
Yeah.
Pay 2 life, demonic tutor.
Which is so good. I hate this card.
So strong. You like this one?
Oh, I love this card. I think this card is super cool. A Tempest, all seeing, 3 blue, blue, blue for a legendary Sphinx. 4/5 flying. 2 and a blue, tap, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Whenever this card deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand. If cards with at least 6 different converted mana cost are revealed this way, that player loses the game.
This commander is the still had all these commander. Literally, like, this is what I have. You lose, and your opponent can't do anything about it. They have to admire all these.
So it's great. And the power of this card is, it's not that powerful as to attack, but if you untap with it, it starts getting you card advantage right away. You can untap it, do some shenanigans like that, get extra card advantage.
Blue decks can protect this. If you can untap with it or play it on turn 8 with 2 mana up, and you can protect it at least once, I think you might be good to hit somebody. Give it haste, give it unblockable, do what you gotta do. Super fun deck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be mad. I will tell you this. If somebody sat down across from me and they ended up attacking with this and they did the thing, it's like, that's cool. They did the thing.
That's amazing.
The deck is trying to do one silly thing and you did it.
And what's spooky for the other people is now you know they have it. So now if she hits you, you know you're going to lose.
Unless they cast another spell and like, isn't it like, ooh, did they get it on the draw?
Did they, what? This is an Emrakul deck, a Kozilek deck, an Ulamog deck, just because you need 13, 12, and 11, maybe. You might. Maybe you just want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have a couple 5s and 6s.
I would 100% would have Emrakul in here. I mean, it reduces itself, but it also just has a 13. That card's going in the deck for sure.
0 also counts.
0 also counts.
So land is freebie, and if you have any other card in your hand, you're already a third of the way there.
You're in blue. There's so many cantrips. There's so many like of the instant speed. Like look at a few cards like Anticipates for a 2 mana.
Well,
so you're already filling in those slots really easily.
Thirst for Knowledge, Factor Fiction, Brainstorm. Just cheap, like get a lot of cards in my hand and then figure out from there.
Yeah, they're all those cards are insanely good in this deck.
Oh, Factor Fiction adds such an extra layer of, well, now it's not just what cards they are, but how much do they cost? Like what cards are they not going to play? And then you can just go, all right, I'll take the value. And your opponent's like, they must have had it already.
You know, it's something that you can do is you can attack, hit somebody, and then with the trigger in this deck, cast something like a Factor Fiction.
Yeah,
and
when you know.
And you could also, like, if that player's a huge threat, you could team up. They can go like, I'll give you everything. Hopefully, you'll just have him dead. There's lots of stuff like that. That's why this deck is so fun. There's so many things to do like that.
Political mono blue deck. You don't see those every day. I think the art's great. It shows what she's doing. She's about to still head all these you, and you can't win. I don't know if we need to say much more. Generic Sphinx art aside from that.
The character?
Nothing. Generic Sphinx, but generic Sphinxes aren't all that bad. I like the whole Riddle Master. Ooh, figure this out, or I'm gonna eat your legs. Flavor.
I love the way this card looks. I think it gets some coolness for just the way it looks. Like even if the art was like a 4 or 5, it wasn't that good. It's just she looks cool.
She's imposing,
majestic.
It looks like you just walked up to talk to her.
I wouldn't talk to her.
And she's like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "I don't know."
No, she wouldn't.
Sorry.
She wouldn't say that. She's definitely pretentious. She'd be like, "Why does one bother my slumber?"
That's not what I meant. I was paraphrasing to save time.
Like, just imagine how pretentious Sphinx would be. I imagine they're the most pretentious people you've ever met. Like, you would never want to talk to a Sphinx.
If I met her, her coolness would go down. So don't talk to me, Tempest. You need these coolness points to stay up this high.
And a 10 for uniqueness. I mean, we explained why this is unique. Is there a blue card in Magic that says lose the game? I don't know.
Is there a blue card in Magic that says 6 different mana costs are required for this spell to work?
The only card I can think similar to that is the artifact that you draw and exile under it. It's the only thing where here's what 5 different mana cost.
Oh, Azor's Gateway.
Yeah, Azor's Gateway. It's the only thing I can think of kind of similar to it, but
yeah, that's not even that similar.
Yeah.
Plus, that one draws 1, discards 1, but she even is like, oh, I can't attack yet. I'll just make you go up on cards.
Yeah, the card is really cool.
It's great. I'm surprised they made it up here this far, but then we were just talking about it, and not now behind the scenes. I'm like, yeah, this card's just pretty sweet.
It's super sweet. All right, what's next, BZ?
75, Crown, Ludovic's Opus. It's his first creation.
Crown.
3 blue, red for a 4/4. Flying, and I think everyone forgets this card actually has haste. Whenever an opponent casts his or her second spell each turn, draw a card. And it has that magical keyword that bumps it up 1 power. Partner.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay, this card, but the partner is such a good ability because it just gives you access to any other color, any other 2 colors you want. Anyone.
I like what they were doing, what they tried to do. I'm not really satisfied with how partner ended up. I don't see anyone playing partners these days. It's just not cool. The art is amazing. The fun is in the middle because you're drawing based on what they're doing. It can't really overpower anyone or take over the game. I think it's a fun for them, and I think it's like a 5 for them and like a 3 for you, or 2 for you. So.
A flying 2-headed Frankenstein is so cool.
Get those coolness points, baby.
I wonder if like this weird flying Frankenstein still hangs out with the young kid. That's like a big part of the story. I didn't
read that book.
The young girl hanging out with Frankenstein, and that they're both innocent.
I'm sorry.
That's like one of the most well-known things. I thought, besides the pitchforks.
I have failed you.
I thought that was the most popular scene.
I don't know. I don't even know what happens in the book. I couldn't tell you how it ends.
I don't know how it ends either. I forgot. I remember that part though.
Everyone's happy. You attack for 4. That's how it ends. Frankenstein has got 2 heads. One of them's always laughing. That is annoying. Like if you're the other head. Oh man, right in your ear. That's what I have to deal with. Joe's definitely the laughing head.
I am the laughing head. I'll give you that.
Shivery. Shiver me timbers.
You would be the miserable head.
Yeah, just be the hate my life head.
Next, we have Joda Arc Mage Eternal. This is coming in at 74. One in the Jeskai for 4/3 flyer, legendary human wizard. You may pay Wooburg instead of paying for spells. It also has flying, if you care about that, which you should.
Evasion.
It does. If anyone ever dies to Joda, I don't know what's going on. I just can't imagine the world where that happens.
Well, in Battlebox, Joda was annoying because he was a 4-power flyer. He would just hit people.
Yeah, it was good because 4 mana 4.
Okay, we can't keep going on Battlebox diversions. Let's get into the power and commander.
The power and commander is fairly strong because the weird thing about this deck is you end up with the trouble of, well, I want to play big spells, but also if I can't cast these big spells, then I'm trapped with big spells in my hand.
Yeah, and it's 5 color. The problem with 5 color decks is, oh my god, you have access to too many staples. Do I want Vandal Blast? Do I want Swords? Do I want Cyclonic Rift? Do I want Toxic Deluge? Do I want Nature's Lore or Sky Shadow Claims? Well, that's not going to help. That doesn't do Joda things.
But what about if you play Swords of Posture in your deck, you can then pay Wooburg for it.
Whoa. It is cool with spells with Converge. Like Painful Truths, draw 5 cards. Woodland Wanderer as a 7/7?
No, that's not. How about one that matters? Bring the Light.
Always for 5?
Always for 5?
I like Bring the Light and Painful Truths. That's really sweet.
I guess it doesn't matter. If you have 5 colors, you can just do Bring the Light for 5 either way.
Well,
it costs 5 mana.
I didn't want to burst your bubble on that one.
It made me laugh.
Bring the Light for 5.
This is super fun. I mean, you just want to cast big giant spells for 5 mana. That's your goal with this deck, is what you want to do. No one's going to hate this because it's so easy to stop. If you're not stopping it, then it's your own fault. It's unlike Razakath, where it's like if they have a creature out when it comes out, it's so impossible to stop that. This one is stoppable.
I think less of, they're going to cast Expropriate and Ulamog, Ceaseless Hunger. I think of cool stuff like just some random planeswalker like Ugin or 7 mana Nicol Bolas. Just something cool.
Oh, Ugin is so good.
Well, yeah.
Also
unrelated.
Also, on the other side, that 7 mana Nicol Bolas, the God Pharaoh, is so good in EDH. It's a good card in EDH. If you can cast it, it's not actually a planeswalker. It just mind rots them until they lose. You mind rots each opponent, so it's just like, it's so much
exiles.
advantage.
They don't even get them.
Oh, it's such a good. Oh, it's so good.
Up next, Nicol Bolas, number 73.
Love that card.
The art is fine. There's crazy static orbs, not the card, the thing behind him. It's every color. I get it. His lore. There's so much. Just whatever.
Lives forever, and that's the most important part. Second most important part. Dated Joyride didn't work out.
Didn't work out. Don't talk about it. It's a little sore. They're both kind of immortal. It didn't really work out.
I don't know. I feel like I could. It doesn't. If you give any 2 human beings ever, or 2 beings like sentient beings, infinite time together, they're gonna break up. There's no way.
Oh, you think they're gonna break up? I thought you were gonna say they're gonna come together.
No. I would say
really cheesy.
I would say the opposite. Like if you spend enough time with somebody, I can't imagine you don't get a point where you're just gonna be like, okay, let's split up at some point.
If you're alone, I don't think so. But if there's the world still happening, probably.
Oh yeah, we're not alone in this scenario. So like if they dated for 10,000 years, and then they broke up. It's like, yeah, I can see that. It's like, what after 10,000 years, what are you gonna do together?
Don't you just plateau at some point?
Do you want to go putt golfing for the 1,000,000th time?
Oh, I didn't want to go for the second time. That wears out real fast.
Joda loves putt golf.
The only moral of this story is, if you're hosting a party, just don't invite Joda and Joyro. It's just too weird. We can move on. The first Sliver, 73. This is probably potential #1 candidate for some people. But no, not even close, except it's pretty close. Wooburg for a 7/7. It's a Sliver. It has Cascade, so when you cast the spell, you flip cards from the top of your library until you flip something. Mana costs less than 5. Cast it for free. Slivers you control, Sliver spells, have Cascade. So whenever you cast any Sliver, you do the same thing.
So this card's powerful in itself. I mean, you get the 7/7 Sliver. If you're playing the Sliver deck, I mean, all your Slivers are going to be doing this from now on, which is insanely good. It also works in the food chain deck because it's the best payoff in the food chain deck now. You just play this as your commander, food chain for infinite mana, and then cast your whole deck.
He's talking about CDH.
CDH,
the
yeah.
food chain archetype.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the best commander now. They used to be, what, the stupid alien?
Well, no, it was Tazri, and then it was Nim Visit for 5 seconds, and then it was this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So this character is really good. Cool thing with this is, if he's on the battlefield, you cast a 6-drop Sliver. You cascade into a 5-drop Sliver. Now that has Cascade. You can have 4-drop into a 3-drop, 2, 1, which would be insane, obviously, and luck-wise, to actually go down the chain like that, but it'd be cool.
I mean, you're bound to hit 1.
Yeah, I mean,
eventually, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna chain at some points. Because if you're playing the Sliver deck, you have like
30 Slivers?
30, 40, 50 Slivers, depending on the
probably
build.
not 50.
People love Slivers. Don't put them in there. I mean, that's why I got a 10 for fun.
Slivers are always max fun. There's a bunch of these generals. This has to be the highest. We have to be done with these now.
Well, we gave, from our standpoint, we just don't care about these archetypes where you're playing the same thing over and over again, but people love it. Slivers are one of the most beloved creature types. I mean, we thought, if we were talking about Merfolk being beloved, Slivers is so much higher, and Merfolk is super high.
Merfolk's like top 5.
Merfolk's like top 5, and it still feels like Slivers is so much farther beyond that.
Oh yeah. I don't know what it is about Slivers, because all these decks just seem like a complete mirror image where you just swap out the commander and then move the previous commander to the 99, and it's like the same deck. Maybe that's part of the appeal. I don't care at all. But this list is trying to be as close to objective as we can get to, so I know Slivers are fun. We're throwing the bone, etc. How's the art?
The art is poop. I don't like this art at all. It's like, it has like...
I was expecting you to say that.
Look at it. It looks like a turd, a literal turd.
Well, yeah, now you're, yeah, kind of.
It's like smooth. It has no detail. I don't like this art at all.
It's like nothing's in focus. It's just, it got middle of the road because the drawing is there. I see what's there.
Yeah, it's making me I want to like make this worse. I want to
move it down like 50 spots.
I know it's so many spots. When we're planning on eventually doing some retconning to this list because we got to keep up on it. But
try.
You will try. What did I just quote? I don't even know what I just quote.
Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, okay.
It's more like you will try. Like, I'm going to kill you undertone. You'll get there. What about uniqueness and lore?
The lore is it's the first Sliver. It's the Mac Daddy. The one. I didn't expect you to laugh.
I read that and I didn't expect you to say it.
Of course I was going to say he's the Mac Daddy.
Well, it didn't process. I'm like, okay, it's the original Mac Daddy, and then you're like, Mac Daddy. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, he's the original Mac Daddy. He's the first Sliver ever. I imagine, because this is a hive mind. Which is also cool. I think that might be why people like Sliver so much. You don't really think about a hive mind too much. Hive minds are an interesting concept that's not really dealt with too often.
People who like Slivers are a hive mind, am I right?
Oh, you got him, bro.
Get a hobby. 7. There's not too many. Cascade isn't thrown around much. It's mostly the tribal plus Cascade equals 7.
Yeah, I mean...
There's literally like nothing else on this card, so what else would it be?
It is literally tribal and Cascade, that's what the card says.
Yeah, exactly.
Next.
We can jump down. Jump down to Kess, Dissonant Mage. Number 72.
Oh, it's 72.
1 in a Grixis for a 3/4 human wizard with flying. Just like Joda, it doesn't matter. During each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. If a card cast this way would be put into a graveyard, yeah, exile it. Come on, we can't do this all the time. We can't go in for no time warps.
So this is a 10 for power. This is a spell slinger commander. This is Grixis good stuff. There's actually a lot of ways to build this deck, but when you build it right, it doesn't take a lot to get value. If you play this on if you have 1 extra mana on turn 5 and you cast a Brainstorm, you've already gotten decent value out of this card.
Any cantrip, it feels pretty good. It's 4 mana and then it's still castable at 6, and you can do a ritual competitive storm deck. You can do a mid-range board wipe deck. You can try to bounce her and Protector and just play counter spells. A lot of ways to go. You can play Planeswalkers. I don't know, dude.
I feel like this is one of those ones where this got a 10 for power, and people are gonna look at it and go like, you gave Urza a 9?
Yeah.
Flip the table.
That's a 10?
We're done with this. We're done with you nitpicking nerds. Get out of our faces.
I want to grow bald. I'm unsubscribing.
9 for fun. It is a really when you know the most competitive version of this deck is boring.
But that's true of everything because
That's
competitive, boring stuff lies in the 99. It has nothing to do with the commander.
That's fair. But some commanders push.
Some commanders are boring.
They push for competitive, boring stuff. This one doesn't have to necessarily push you that way. I could see playing this card and just love it. I've had it in the 99 actually of Bolas.
Yeah.
And I think realistically, if Bolas wasn't like I didn't love Bolas, she would be the better commander.
Yeah, that's true.
But she's really good.
She's super strong. She's like Carador, but for the better types.
Yeah, it's
Carador's creatures are great and all, but I think spells are typically better.
Oh god, she'd be insane if she was actually Carador. If she costs less for each spell.
If she was 5 in Grixis and costs 1 less for each spell. Ooh.
Yeah, that could be insane.
Yeah, that's the one thing Carador has above her. He's more castable, but
Yeah, he's always more
this is
castable.
stronger.
Yeah, that's true. The art is whatever. All of these from this specific, the Wizards, I can't think of it. The Wizards Precon, all of them are so meh.
Why is the art the background just blue? Like Anala, just blue. This card is just blue.
I don't know. She's like in the most boring place in the world.
She's walking down stairs? Is that what people want to see?
She has vials floating. So she has one little blurb. She's trying to restore Grixis with something called Vis.
There is a card called Absorb Vis. And I remember, so Absorb Vis is 6 and this is story time for Little Beezy.
It sounds like you can't pronounce. It sounds like you're just mispronouncing this. Absorb Vis.
Okay, a little story time digression. Absorb Vis is 6 and a black for a sorcery. Target player loses 4 life and you gain 4 life. It also has basic land cycling for 1 and a black. So whatever, I don't know. It's the most filler, like crappy draft chaff. When the first decks I ever played, my friend Kevin, shoutouts, always played like a bunch of Absorb Vs. And I always died to it. I'm like, I just can't beat Absorb Vis. Like, direct damage? He played a Highway Robber, which is 4 mana 2/2 that deals 2 to them, and then you gain 2. It's like the worst stuff ever. So and I'm like, man, what am I supposed to do?
Why don't you if you want, put Absorb Vis into your cast deck.
Well, that's a good point, though. You can put cycling cards that cost more, like Decree of Pain and stuff, where you cycle them early, and then they're still in the graveyard.
Oh, that's...
And flickery spells, too. If you cast a flicker spell that does something else out of the graveyard, then cast is ready to go again.
Ooh.
You can cast another spell.
Yeah, if you cast
There's probably something to do with that. Maybe, not Storm, but there's some other cool jank to do with that. And even another way to go.
That does help you with storming off, too, though. But because if you flicker it with something and it comes back and then you cast another spell, it's 2 storm. I mean, that's definitely helping with storm.
Yeah, I'm not saying you gotta play Storm. You can do whatever you want. And the last one, I think, right?
Yep, Momir Vig.
The last one, read it.
Momir Vig, Simic Visionary, 3 green-blue for a legendary creature, Elf Wizard, 2/2. Whenever you cast a green creature spell, you may search your library for a creature card and reveal it. If you do, shuffle your library and then put that card on top. Whenever you cast a blue creature spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature, put that card into your hand. Otherwise, it just stays there and hangs out.
Has a power level of 6. Joke is, play a green-blue creature spell. So you go, oh, I'll stack them so that I search, put it on top, and then draw it. Like, okay, cool. So it's like Demonic Tutor.
Yeah, it's Demonic Tutor for creatures, which is super... It's strong in that way. It costs 5 mana to come out, so and then...
You know what I want?
What?
I want the 1 mana 1/1 version.
Yep. Yeah, you do.
The closer he is to that, the higher his power goes.
My favorite card to cast with this out is Coiling Oracle. I love Coiling Oracle.
Even if you only cast a green creature spell, like Elvish Visionary, you get to search for a creature, put it on top, and then just draw it anyway.
Oh, that's
off
cool.
The Visionary
that
itself.
is really sweet. 10 for fun. I mean, you get to toot up your creatures, do all your fun stuff. It's definitely a birthing pot deck, right?
Elf Ball deck, Birthing Pod deck, maybe just a Crater Hoof deck.
I mean, yeah, you can play this a million different ways, and that's part of the fun of it. When you can build different versions and you're not just this linear archetype, it's when you start getting into more fun.
We're getting into the choose your own adventure commanders coming up. There's way more coming up because those are the ones that have the power. If they have the power to back it up and you can do whatever you want, that just makes for the most fun deck.
I believe that this is the best version of the cares about the guild spells. I was complaining about these because most of them are poopers. There's like 2 or 3 good ones, and then there's like 7 awful ones.
it reminds us of the Dragon's Maze Legends, where most of them actually did pretty well, but we just hate on them nonstop.
Oh yeah, I just don't. It's like, oh yeah, play a Boros card in your Boros deck, and you get that dumb guy that pumps butts and faces. I forget his
Yeah,
name.
he pumps butts and heads.
Actually, you know what?
Artist costs.
I think Artist Cost is who killed Momir Vig, actually.
I think so, because he was the hero, and this was a blue-green villain who did Experiment Courage and tried to have it absorb all everybody's abilities, because he put these little Legion things on people that gave them, that was what Graft was, it gave them like superpowers, but nobody wanted to. He was basically just invading everyone's privacy.
Well, here's what happened. I got more lore for you.
Okay.
So he started off where he wanted to make everyone better, but nobody wanted to be like improved because it took a huge surgery to do. So the only people that were doing it were the Simic and people who had like their limbs cut off, so amputees.
Yep.
So they were also willing to do it because, well, I'll take a working arm now.
Keep in mind, the Simic are responsible for the whole plane's like health. They're like the hospital doctors. Like, I would never. Why are they all jellyfish people? Where are the people who are like good at healing?
Well, that's from this, because they all started to get into this stuff.
Well, it's like, no, I like scrape. Oh, I'm a Boros soldier. I scrape my knee in battle. Like, well, we're gonna put a jellyfish on it, and then you're gonna become a mutant. It's like, well, you have a Band-Aid?
So this is where he skipped this. So going back to the story, this is where he skipped a step. So people didn't want to have the surgery, and that's the main reason that they didn't want to be improved, is because the surgery was like a big risk and it took you out of commission for a while.
Okay.
Then he's like, well, screw you. I'm gonna make this thing that I can do. All you have to do is put it on you and it does it to you. But also, I'm just not gonna tell you now, even though the big reason for people not wanting to was because he had surgery on them.
Yeah, so everybody goes crazy. Experiment Courage is this giant ball of mucus. Agris, whatever. Hagrid has to kill it, and then he slays the thing. And I know the Nephilim play some kind of role in this story, but I don't even think they're connected to Momir.
The reason that he wanted, what Experiment Courage was made to do was to kill everyone on the plane. Because he wanted to kill everyone on the plane, because he was like, you know what, they're all flawed, they're all piece of crap, I'm just going to kill them all, and then we'll start new.
That was an overreaction. Don't do that.
He literally wants to kill everybody. He's just like mass genocide.
Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
horrible. Well, he however you want to mass genocide your opponents. He really lets you do whatever you want. You can, as long as you're doing creatures, he's letting you do it. I like the uniqueness of this card.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do creatures. That's his It's not a really restriction, but it is a restriction.
Yeah, it's one of the first blue-green draw cards commanders. There's so many now. This is one of the first ones.
Yeah.
I think he does it in a way that makes me not hate it.
Yeah, I mean, you get to tutor up and draw what you want if you're casting, because it wants you to care about the blue and the green. So you get the crappy, we hate these guild cards, but this one's good. This one is unique. I give it credit, even though I don't want to. Momir Vig, I hate you.
Cool non-black villain.
He is a non-black villain.
All right.
Well, they're all up here. All of our non-black villains are up
I
high.
wonder why. That's what makes people cool. It's going outside the norm.
So that's the end of our video. If you enjoyed this, you can head over to patreon.com to support us financially. Patreon.com/user/nitpicking nerds. That's us. We're the nitpicking nerds. We love all of these patrons as much as we can without making them uncomfortable. BZ's doing the hand thing, but I know you guys are off screen because we're scrolling through our patrons that we love so much.
There's so many of them, and there's actually 2 honorary patrons that don't count towards our 50 goal, but there's 2 honorary patrons, Michelle and Tammy.
Our mothers.
Yeah, great job, guys.
We love our moms too. We love them enough to make them uncomfortable though. And also I want to do one special shout out. One last special shout out to Joe Money, because for the month of December, he's going to do be a $100 patron because he's awesome and he wanted to support us, and thank you so much for that, and thanks to everybody. And if you want to buy any of these cards, you can head over to tcgplayer.com using the link in the description below, and we'll get some kickback. Thank you so much.
That'd be awesome.
I said,
Oh, Merry Christmas, by the way.
Merry peace out, Tribe Scout.